They stole her as a child, named her for the ship that carried her, the schooner Phillis. But they could not name the mind inside. By 19, she'd written a book of poems, and a room full of powerful men refused to believe a black girl wrote it. This is Phillis Wheatley. 7 years old, off a slave ship, sick and small, sold in a Boston market to the Wheatley household hall. They named her for the vessel that had carried her in chains, but a fire was already burning in the corners of the brain. She learned to read in months what took others years to know, Latin and the scripture and the way the verses flow. By 12 she wrote in couplets, by 14 she was published in the press. A child enslaved and brilliant, and the world could not care less. Phillis, Phillis, they couldn't own her mind. The pen in her hand left the chains behind. First of her people to publish a book of her own, a voice out of bondage the whole world would come to know. Phillis, Phillis, say it, let it ring. They enslaved the body, but they couldn't cage the thing. The words were hers and the words were free. The first black poet in American history. Now here's the paradox, the part that cuts so deep. She wrote a book of poems the world said she couldn't keep, so they put her on trial. No crime, just her art. 18 gentlemen gathered to interrogate her heart. Governors and reverends, a signer of the Declaration too, sat her in a room to prove her poems were true. Did you write this? They questioned every line, 'cause they couldn't fit her genius in the box they had designed. She passed, they signed a paper, yes, the Negro girl is real. Imagine being brilliant and they still make you kneel. She had to prove her mind to men who owned her hands, the price of being gifted in a stolen land. Oh, Phillis, Phillis, they couldn't own her mind. The pen in her hand left the chains behind. First of her people to publish a book of her own, a voice out of bondage the whole world would come to know. Phillis, Phillis, say it, let it ring. They enslaved the body, but they couldn't cage the thing. The words were hers and the words were free. The first black poet in American history. And she wrote to General Washington, praised the fight for liberty. You catch the ache in that she was still not free. She pinned the word freedom with the slave's own hand, holding up a mirror to a paradox of the land. Then England bound a book while America looked away, and the girl who made them famous, they let her fade away. Freed at last and poor than gone at just 31, but the door she cracked wide open could never be undone. 'Cause every black writer who ever picked up a pen walked through a door that Phillis opened way back then. Every poet, every author, every voice on a stage is an heir to the girl who was published on the page. They tried to make her prove it, tried to make her small, but her name outlived the 18 men who judged her in that hall. Say her name where the anthology stayed thin. Phillis Wheatley, the first, let the record begin. She turned a stolen name and the stolen little life into the opening line of a people's long fight. So when you read a black poet and the words set you free, you're standing in a doorway built by a girl from a ship at sea. Phillis, Phillis, the first to hold a pen. They couldn't cage the thing, and they never could again. Say her name, say her name, the first voice of the flame.